So before discussing on that, let me walk through some the report over here, then we'll jump on to the practical one. So let's see, SE type is simply saying that it is going to be maintaining all the present data and historical data. Right. Let's see, I'm trying to take two tables, this table as source, and I'm going to be taking my target as SCT2. Right. Now, I'm going to be creating the source table usually have columns, employee number, e-name, job, hire date, manager, salary, commission, and finally department number. Right. Now, so our target table usually have the same structure here, right? So if we consider here in the source table EMP, so employee number is the primary key and department number is a foreign key with respect to the department number in the department table, right? So here we are trying to compare, the primary key with the target table. We know what is the uniqueness in the source table. So we are trying to compare on the same in the target. When these two are matched, then it is existing record, then we are going to be updating the record and inserting a new record, right? And if there is no match, the employee number, let's see, we do have 1, and target, we don't have 1, we have some 3. So the employee number 1 is there, but 1 is not in the target. When these two are not matched, then it is going to be executing that the record is not there and is trying to insert a record of 1. This is what it is doing internally, right? So in the case of here, when we are trying to inserting a new record, we use it to generate a sequence, right? So accordingly, I'm going to be generating a sequence here, like we are calling it as surrogate key, right? So, and post here, when the record is trying to inserting, we need to capture the record date. We need to capture the date of the record inserted. So we can take it as start date of start date when the record is inserted. If the record is updated, then we are going to be providing end date for that particular record to know when this record is started, when this record is ended for the future purpose, like in it's a historical data. So we do have end date. And finally, so when the record is inserted, we have to make sure that there is a record should be a flag, either a record is active or inactive. For that, we do have flag status. So we have a columns and we have some other columns apart from these columns, right? So in a target table, we need more columns, four more columns. One is the surrogate key column, start date, end date, and the flag key. So we need to create a table first of all with this, and then I'm going to be import the table, right? So let's go and create the table now. In the database level, I'm trying to create a table. Let me copy the same structure from EMP. So I'm creating employee SCD type 2 table. The table name is employee SCD type 2. So accordingly, I'm trying to create a surrogate key. So sequence underscore generated, so which is a number. Now just create your start date column, which which is a date value, end date, which is a date column, and flag. Which is a number. Right. So I'm creating a primary key on sequence generator of employee SCD 2. So on which column? So employee number is not a primary key now. It's a natural key, and sequence generator is the one I'm going to be taking as a primary key. So I do have all the columns now, right? So I have either sequence generator, start date, end date, and flag record. So I have created a constraint, primary key constraint on sequence generator, right? So just create your table now. What went wrong?
So now so basically employee number is not the primary key. It's not a key at all. Only the sequence is the key.
Exactly.
I think you have comma after flag record.
That should be right. We haven't closed it. So the table is created. Right. So let's go to ODI and import the table using model. Go to your models, just move on to the target. And import the table. Right. So just import the table emp SCD type 2. So usually what we do in Informatica, we use it to create a lookup on the target table and applying some condition over there. Then we are going to be using auto transformation, then update strategy. Finally, we are populating data into target table. But ODI scenario is entirely different. See, your table is imported. Now just double click on your table. Now your model is going to be showcased here, all the properties. Right. Let's see, the data store type is table and OLAP type. Right. The OLAP type should be a slowly changing dimension. Slowly changing dimension table.
But now, whenever we were creating other mappings, we never selected OLAP type, either a dimension or a fact table. I mean, if we selected, what difference it will make if I select a dimension or a fact table?
Right. It is trying to showcase you how the table acts as. See, if it is a normal table, we don't need to select that. But when you're working in type 2, we need to tell to the ODI, this is a type 2 table.
I mean, if we select fact table, then how the property will change if we select dimension? I'm just trying to understand what will be the properties different if I select dimension or fact.
Don't worry, don't worry. Let's walk through now as of now. Okay. When the situation comes, I'll explain every option. Okay. Yeah. So when OLAP type is SCD, then you can see the attributes. In the attributes tab, we need to select the SCD behavior. If you look at the end, it is going to be showing you SCD behavior. When SCD behavior, the first column is sequence generated. So accordingly, we need to select it's a surrogate key column. And employee number is a natural key, where we are trying to match with the source. Then employee name. So see here other options: overwrite unchanged, add row unchanged. If employee name is changed, then there is no need of writing add row unchanged, right? Employee name is everywhere common. There might be some typing mistake, So usually do. So I don't want to do that. I'm trying to make it as override or change.
Okay.
Okay. So the job is going to be changed. When the job is changed of particular employee, then just add row and change. Manager also will be changed. And hire date. Hire date won't be changed. So overwrite on change. So salary. Salary will change. Add row and change. Commission will change. Add row and change. Department number. Add row and change. And if you come to the last, we do have start date. So the start date is particular timestamp. End date. End date of the ending timestamp. Flag record. We do have current record flag.
Okay.
So we need to select the options accordingly. So I'm just clicking on save. And on top of this is a sequence generator, right? We need to generate a sequence for this particular column during runtime, isn't it? So to generate the sequence, we need to create the sequences first of all. So to create the sequence, just go to your project folder and you can see the option as sequences. So basically we do have two types of sequences here. One is the local sequence, and it's a project level, and then there's a global sequence. If you create a sequence over here in the global objects, you can utilize the sequence in any of the project, in any of the project folder. But if you create a sequence under a project folder, the sequence is applicable to that particular folder only.
I mean, so it is always good to create a global thing, right?
It's all depends on you. You can choose whatever you want, and you can create either here, either here.
No, that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, what difference it will make if I choose just global? Because I create just one sequence, it can be used everywhere. I mean, how it is not useful?
That's what. See, if you create a global, you can use it anywhere, any of the project folder. If you create a local one under a project folder, you shouldn't use apart from that particular folder.
Okay.
And it's all depends on your requirement. So if you like use the same sequence in multiple projects, you can create in global. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so just expand the sequences. See, I don't have any sequences. So actually there are two types of sequences here in ODA. So I'm just trying to create the sequence. So we can create the sequence in ODA level, and we can create the sequence in database, and we can import that. Right. So I'm just creating the sequence. So I'll show you how to get from the database. You can try it on your own how we can create a in ODA level. So just determine your table name and column name, and you just try your value here by writing your query. Just write your query and it will retrieve the value, and that will be incremented by 1. Okay.
I mean, this is a standard one, or this is a Oracle database one?
It's an Oracle database one, right? We do have edit query. You just write your query here. Okay. So this is going to be stored in the ODA repository, and specific sequence will come from particular table of this will come from your table where it is going to be reside. If you provide the table name, the column name, and you can get the max value, get it increment by 1. Okay, so just try on your, it's a simple one, just try on your own and you can see the outputs. But I'll show you how we can import from the database level.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to the database level, and I'm trying to create my sequence on the target schema. Then go to the sequences here. I have one sequence. Let me create one more here and create new sequence. So this is the table name what we have. right? So the start value should be 1, increment by 1, minimum value is 0, and maximum value whatever you want the max value. And if you'd like to make it a catchy cycling process, whatever, blah blah, if you want, you can select it here. Okay, just create the sequence. Right, my sequence is just created. And just go to ODI. See, you can select the native sequence radio button. Just select it here, then it will enable the options undefined, and you can select your respective logical schema. So just click it here and go to your native sequence name, just browse it. Okay, and when you select your context, it will show you the list of sequences available under this logical schema. You can select the required one and just click on OK. And you just save it here. Right.
So which is better, created on database or created in ODI?
It's in dilemma, right? I don't recommend any of the one. If you like to get from database, or if you like to, that should be good option from database. That is to have better one, as per my knowledge. If you like to go, there might be a chance of this one is trying to store in the repository of 4A, but this one is trying to get from the database.
Okay.
And just trying to close it. Now, just create your mapping. So how this one is going to be work out. So before creating mapping, I'm trying to import my knowledge module, which is required for SCD type 2. Let's say we do have knowledge module. We should have IKM or kill slowly changing dimension knowledge module. We don't have it here. Just go and get that. Import knowledge module.
And one more thing, because I was reading over there, if you just create the mapping and it will automatically put it, you don't need to import it. I didn't understand what it means by that. I was reading somewhere. Like in 12C, it has by default some knowledge module. You don't need to import it.
That should be right. ODI has an intelligence, right? Internet has intelligence. It is trying to get the knowledge.
If we don't import it here, right now, let's say we don't import it and let's create a mapping. Can we check if it is automatically showing?
Okay, let's see. Okay, and just create your mapping, new mapping. Okay. Now, let's go and get your source and target models. So your source is code, get the EMP here, and connect, get your SC type 2 here. Okay. Now, just map it, both of them, employee number to the employee number, employee name, the job, MGR, hire date, salary, commission, and department number. Right. So we have some more columns which we left. Go to sequence generated. Okay. And when you click on here, you are trying to get browse option here. There you can, on your bottom on right side, you can see the project sequences are global functions. Okay. Now just expand it here and expand it here and select the next value of that particular sequence.
Okay. Why not current value?
Current value is the one, it is trying to showcase only current value, right? We have two values, current value and next value. So if you look at Informatica sequence generator, it is trying to showcase current value and next value. What is the difference?
Right now, basically we said our sequence will start from 1, correct?
Yes.
So if I say next value, will it take 2 or will it take only 1?
It should be 2, right? But minimum value we have given 0.
Okay, but minimum value is 0, but it will start from 1.
Okay,
Correct?
let's alter that then. Increment by 1, last number is 1. Let's edit it now. You want me this one like this? Start with 0, increment by 1. That shouldn't be right. Start with 1 only.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. If it is starting with 1, next value, what next value will it have? Will it have 1 or will it have 2? Because
No,
I
should be
understand, I understand that we always select next value. But the
yeah.
question pop up in my mind that, current value is 1, so next value will be 2.
Yes, but the start value, I'm trying to say the start value should be 1 only.
Okay,
You are right. Start value is going to be 1. And let's see, if you place this one,
okay,
I think that should start with 0 only. Let's see.
okay.
Okay. Just click on apply and OK.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just click on the start date and you can write your expression here. Else, just click on the target or OK on top of that and just select the expression here. You can give it as sysdate.
Mm-hmm.
You do have those options here. You can go here and you can write it over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just sysdate for the start date.
Mm-hmm.
And end date also should be sysdate. And you don't bother, ODI will take care of that. So what will be the end date and start date during the runtime?
Okay,
The flag should
okay,
be 1.
okay.
Okay. So I have applied all those values, but I'm trying to run execution should be on target, the sequence generator, because these are not available in the source.
Mm-hmm.
So all this should be executed on target only when it's trying to populating the data.
I mean, if I don't select this hint or no hint, what it will do?
Mm-hmm. Nothing should be do. It will trying to get the data, but it is trying to get all the data from source level only.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So just go to your physical tab. Now, sorry. So here we need to select the target. This is a controller pen, the integration line. So this should be a slowly changing dimension.
So it automatically actually it's coming. No, it should be in physical actually.
No.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Yeah. Now, this one is fine, and just select your LKM.
Mm-hmm.
LKM is as usual. I'm not going to be touch it. And IKM, see,
Yeah, it's
we
not
don't
there
get,
actually.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
just try to import that knowledge module, what we require.
Mm-hmm.
Oracle, in the starting level, Oracle is trying to give some of the IKM and LKMs only.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think so that should give everything.
Mm-hmm.
And just select it now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see the check should be also there. The check knowledge module. We do have the check. It is trying to check. Let's see. We do have flow and static control. The options in check knowledge module. The check is simply nothing but it is trying to check the constraint in the target. Either it is a not null and unique. It is
Only
trying
two
to
things, not null and unique?
exactly only those two things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We need to get the CKM also accordingly. So we have only particular knowledge module. Every database has particular CKM. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have options like IKM, LKMs. We do have
Mm-hmm.
CKM or that's all.
Okay.
Okay. If it is a native type, you just select the CKM SQL.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we don't have SQLs over here, but we can select the SQL.
Mm-hmm.
It's a native type.
Mm-hmm.
Just close it and select your CKM. Right. just click on save here. But before doing that, our flow control is, I'm trying to give it as false.
But you know what? It should be true because the target table has primary key this time.
Yes, but we are checking in check knowledge module.
Okay.
This is the option what we have.
But check knowledge module you said not null and unique, correct? But the primary
Exactly.
key is different. Flow control just check if the target table has any primary key or not. But in our case, we have created sequence number as the primary key.
Yes.
So it should be true. Flow control should be true, right?
No, this shouldn't be true. This is not active. We are trying to get those values into integration $I table. I'm not going to be check the data post loading of the post loading into the table. I have to check the data prior to the loading.
Okay.
But the key values should be taken by ODA that has internal algorithm. It will take care of those appending value, how the sequence is going to be generated.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have any more questions? So can I run this mapping?
Yeah.
Good. So did you try that simple override query?
Yeah, I tried that. Actually, it worked.
Good. Okay, good work. Okay, so that is completed. Okay, let's go back to your database and hit your query. So we have totally 16 records.
Mm-hmm.
And let's check in source. How many? We do have 16. Okay, and just move back to the target here. See, the start value is 0. We have given the start value as 0.
Yeah.
So trying to give it 0. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now look at here. Sequence entry is generated. Now the start date. It's a sys date we have given. But if you look at here end date that has taken as 01 January, it should be 2400 or 500 value. Yeah, it's a 2400. Okay.
What is that date? 2400. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, 2024, 24K. Yes. Then it is active record 1. See, and date we have given as what we have given sys-date, but it shouldn't take the sys-date as a date when it is active, when it is an active record. Okay. Now this is clear, right? The first case. Okay. Now let's go to the second case. I'm trying to updating my table.
Can we try, only where you are updating? For example, we had name. Let's change just name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And let's try to see how it works.
Okay. That is completed. So for the 1003 record, we just updated, right? And let's go back and look at here. I'm trying to remove this. Let's execute this. See, I do have still 15 records with 1003 is Agarwal and flag is 1, but it didn't update the end date. Update end date should be the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so what you want to try me now?
We can change like manager.
Okay. So for this 1003, I'm typing manager as 8960.
Mhm.
Okay. So do you want me to do any more?
Yeah, you can change the name also for this row. Change Miller 1 or something.
For the same row.
Yeah, for the same row.
Okay.
Not job, but name.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
What you think now? How this is going to be done?
So basically, we will have another row with this new
Mm-hmm.
record, and the
Exactly.
old record will have the end date as the today's date, and
Exactly.
the flag will be 0.
Exactly. Okay. Let's see how ODA works. So what's the record number? That is 1002.
Mm-hmm.
See, 1002 is active record, and we do have 1002 as a inactive record
Mm-hmm.
with Miller, right? And
Mm-hmm.
see here, you can see the end date for this one is 27 March.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and new end date is the 1st January 24K.
Mm-hmm.
So like this, you can do all your modifications in the source table.
Mm-hmm.
Clear?
Yeah.
Let me go back to the knowledge module now. Okay, so if you go to the tasks of particular knowledge module, see how this is going to be worked out. You do have all the values here and the update existing rows. This is
Mm-hmm.
the one taking care of all your updates
Mm-hmm.
using this update command.
Mm-hmm.
Update the set values, those values, and it's trying to get the values from the IDollar table where update equal to you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then it is trying to updating those values,
Mm-hmm.
right? See, the default end date is trying to be how 2400.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to your operator and check one by one. This is the first one what we just trying to do. That should be a good one if you're looking at the log level when you're working first time. That will tell you how it's working exactly internally. External table, it's creating drop loading table, creating loading table, and see all the options. It's trying to create the flow table, $I table. Right, then inserting the flow. See, it is inserting into by using that flow. See, when it's trying to inserting, the end date is trying to taking as 2400.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it has any source code. It doesn't have. Now, see the internal mechanism how that works. It is trying to give it one simple insert statement, but
Mm-hmm.
it's doing everything. It's trying to filtering of the records. It's trying to do whatnot. It's trying to do everything, and it's writing its own tuning of the query also accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't bother about how that is going to be taken. The Oracle has the ODA has internal mechanisms and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So create indexes on the flow table to improve performance. Right, flagging the rows for update. It's trying to get the values.
Mm-hmm.
So once it is done, it is trying to disable the constraints and disable the indexes and IKM.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it usually have all the mechanism internally that will handle all the stuff. You don't bother about that. And if you'd like to have a custom one here, okay, you can go back to your knowledge module and change over there. See, this is SCD type 2, right?
Yeah.
So why can't you implement SCD type 1 using this SCD type 2 knowledge module? So what is the difference between SCD type 2 and type 1? Type 1 is trying to have all the current business records. It is going to be deleting all the zero flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you delete this update survey keys, update existing rows, okay, if you delete this option and if you delete the options which is not required as part of SCD type 1, this knowledge module will work as SCD type 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you try that?
But again, when we were doing the target table, here if we select, update on new record or something, we selected for each column. Over there, if we say update the record, then it will behave as a series type 1, correct?
Exactly. Exactly.
So I
You just
think we
try
don't
it.
need to, we don't need to actually touch the knowledge module. In the target table, we can define what behavior do we want, correct?
Uh, SC type 1 we don't have, right? The storage changing dimension we do have. SC type 2 only currently. It has the KM.
No, actually,
But
if we go to the target table, the employee SCD type 2, and if you see the options over there in the fields, you can select for all the columns. Just go to that in the model, the target table.
hit only.
Correct. So if we select overwrite on change for everything, correct, let's say.
Okay. So you want to place overwrite and change.
Yeah. So
That will work, right?
correct. I mean, the department number everywhere.
Exactly. That one also works.
Yeah, because
But
here actually we are saying what is the SCD behavior, whether it's 1 or 2 or whatever we want, whether 3 or 6.
true. Right, but that's a good one. I appreciate that. If you like to, I just want to give overview how you can work with the editing of knowledge modules.
Mm-hmm.
In that way, I'm trying to
Okay.
assign you. If you want, you just try it. How even if you delete this one, that shouldn't be work. There is one more option you have to delete. You have to edit. I'm just trying to say you just mimic over here, and you can have a hands-on knowledge how you can edit the KM. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's all we have in SCD type 2. It's a major part in ODA.
Okay. Okay.
Now, so see, we do have number of mappings here. Okay. See, when I expand any mapping here, it is trying to showcase some scenarios, the uses, user by, and shortcuts. If you expand here any of them, okay. Now, this is the mapping what we have. Okay, we can see your testing is, suppose your development is completed and testing also completed. If you like to freeze the code, we need to generate the scenarios here. Okay, during the load plan, we do not use the mappings. We do not use the mapping. We are trying to use the scenarios. Okay, we have to generate the scenario for every mapping when you are done with everything. So to generate your scenario,
can it be generated for individual mapping or can it be generated for like whole package?
you can do that. If you like to generate a scenarios with everything, you can select it here. It will it will create the scenarios. If there are already existing scenarios, it will create a new one. If there is no scenario for the particular mapping, it will create a first scenario.
Okay.
Okay. So just right click on your mapping, just click on generate scenario. It will give the version number. So what's the current version? And your scenario name.
And what is this physical mapping design?
This is physical only, basically. I think this is the logical physical operation what we have. And just click on OK. What is trying to say? Error while generating the scenario. What happened? I think this is right. Now your scenario is selected. Okay. Now I think you remember that you have asked me a question how we can schedule in ODI level. Right. We cannot schedule the mappings, but we should schedule the scenarios. When you expand the scenarios, it is trying to show you what are the variables it is using, if it has, who are going to be using it. So are there any executions for this particular scenario? It will showcase there. And the scheduling. When this is trying to schedule.
What is this used by?
Who are using this scenario?
Okay, and executions?
Executions, how the executions, like here only, when the operator, it is trying to showcase you that the number of executions on this, when this was last executed, and all the history of the executions.
Okay.
And the scheduling. Okay. Just right click, new scheduling. But I don't think so this should be work here because I don't have a scheduling tool in my local PC. Okay.
So what is the scheduling tool?
That there we have agent should be installed in ODI. Agent, I told you, right?
We don't have agent?
I think my PC does not have the agent. Okay.
Okay.
This is the one, when you open a scheduling tool, you just select the logical agent here. That should be come from topology, the agents tab. You should create a new agent. But to create the agent, we need to install the agent.
I mean, how do we install agent? Like, is there a separate mechanism?
Yes, that should be there. You don't worry, your admin will take care of that stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So it just, I'm trying to showcase the options over here. When you select the logical agent here, those all things should be in activate mode, and you can select the whatever the scheduling you want here. And startup, simple, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. You know the options how you can plug and play. Okay. You can utilize these options.
So, I mean, the way we create a workflow, basically we have dependency. First, this should be executed, then this should be executed, and third mapping should be executed. How we can create that, basically?
That will come under packages. See here, package.
Okay.
Okay. When we try to enter into that, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Now, so your scenario is ready. See, let's see. Your mapping is changed. After completion of everything, you have generated a scenario and you are trying to export this. Your mapping is changed. In that case, your scenario should not be changed. Okay. When you're trying to change your mapping, it doesn't affect your scenario. If you'd like to affect the scenario, just right click here and you should click on regenerate the scenario.
Okay.
Okay. That should be a
let's say I create a new scenario because I want to keep the old scenario as well as new scenario. Can I just say generate scenario, it will create a new version?
See here, it is showing 002, right? Earlier that is showing 001.
Correct.
When you click on 002, that will create one more scenario.
And how will I move this scenario to production? In the production system, how it will look like? Or do I move all the map, like in Informatica, how we take the XML export and just import it into the target system or production system, and everything is there, like the same structure what we have here. So how do we do it that in ODI?
Same level. You just click on your mapping. Okay, and just try to export it. It will export all the things. Okay,
But
and
you
if you
said
like,
in production, like what you are saying is like, you know, only scenarios can be scheduled.
exactly.
So production system will have the mapping, it will have all the scenarios, but only scheduling will be done on top of scenarios, right?
Exactly.
So every time I'm changing my development system, so I will take the whole, like export of whole package, project. How should I do it actually?
See, you do have option in the mapping level, and you do have option in the scenario level.
Okay.
Okay, you just export your particular scenario. You can import in your production.
Okay.
Okay, we do have all the options.
Okay. So whatever is changed, whatever I want to take into production, that will be done.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The import export type is as usual. That should be in XML format here also, like
Okay.
Informatica do.
Yeah.
Right. And we do have two types of export here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one is normal export, and the one is a simple export.
Okay.
So the normal export is just trying to export the one. This is the one. This is the only the one. Okay. And if you would like to simple export is trying to do, so what are all the models it has? It is trying to analyze internally this particular mapping, what are the models it was assigned.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It is going to be export those models. If it has any variables, it is trying to do export those variables also. You don't know what exactly you are trying to, you know, just simply you need to export this mapping, but you should export all the dependencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, export shouldn't be work. Simple export is the one we need to work on it. How we
So
can do the
just,
simple export?
yeah.
So when just click on here and go to your project here, I'm sorry. Export. It is trying to
Mm-hmm.
ask you the options. I'm sorry, smart export. It's not simple export. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It is smart export.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That will, option will take care of that. If you'd like to export multiple objects, if you'd like to export your master repository, work repository, row policy,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and all the logs and execution environment security settings. So those are
So
technical.
initially, let's say my development and testing is complete. Now I'm trying to set up my production system. So for the first time, what should I export? Like, because I want to set up my production system. So what should be my
Yeah,
option?
it should be, see, it should be exported individually. The master repository, the work repository, the topology connections,
Oh,
and the security settings you have.
or can I select everything and one by one and all the, and then in the same order, I should
No,
import it?
no, you just select the one and import it. I mean, say export it. Select the one, export it, and select the one, export it.
No,
Okay, the export.
I'm just saying, you know, can I
Hmm.
do the export for all the options what are there? Let's
No,
say,
no, no,
it's not,
no.
okay.
It doesn't allow you. It should allow you only one at a time.
No, that's what
Just
I'm
try it.
saying. One at one time I'm selecting, let's say, a master repository. I exported, then I imported in my production. Second time I'm
Yes,
selecting a work repository. So can I do the same thing for all the options showing here?
exactly. You can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So likewise, we can do that.
Okay.
And here I'm trying to generate the scenarios for all the one. I'm
Mhm.
trying to selecting the mappings only. Okay. And the group. I'm not going to say anything here. We generate, replace, creation. It will create a new mapping. If you're trying to replace it, it is trying to replace the one to the existing one. Okay, and regenerate option is trying to regenerate the scenario to the existing one, and creation is simply nothing but it will create a new scenarios for every mapping. I just clicked on OK. Let's see how long does it take. See here. Nathan, are you there? Hello? Hello, Nathan?
So did you export or what did you do?
No, I just created scenarios for every mapping. Okay.
So
So
you
what I
selected
said
generate all
template.
scenarios. Okay.
Yes, it is trying to show the options here: replace,
Mm-hmm.
regenerate, and creation options.
Mm-hmm.
Replace is the one it is trying to replace the existing scenario.
So will
I'm
it
sorry.
create the
It's
new
trying to,
one? If nothing existed, will
yes,
it create the new one?
yeah, nothing existed. Just click on creation. It will create a new one.
No, no. My question is that let's say I have 10 mappings. Out of
Mm-hmm.
these 10 mappings, only a scenario exists for only two.
Hmm.
And I want to regenerate those two scenarios as well as newly create other 8 scenarios. What option should I do?
No, no. You just click on the required option here. If you have already existing one, okay, you just trying to regenerate that, just click on regenerate. It will try to regenerate the existing one.
Mm-hmm.
If it is not there, it is trying to create a new one. And if you simply create the creation, it will create a new one. Let's say
So
I'm selecting
yeah, so
regenerate
if I
here.
select regenerate, if it is exist, it will regenerate. If it doesn't exist, it will create, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. And just click on okay. That was already generated here. Now every mapping is there. Okay. So why I have generated everything is okay. I'll let you know in tomorrow's session in load plans.
Okay. Can you show me like how many scenarios have been generated? For each mapping, I will be able to see the scenario. Okay. 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 Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.